Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to another video. I know it's been over a week since I have done a video, um, but I have yet another new rare iOS on device in my collection. And yes, just by this, you you probably know that it's a iPod Touch 5th generation on iOS 6. And yes, you would be right. And it is like literally never been used. I checked the mileage of this iPad before. This iPod has like one charge cycle, and that's it. Only one charge cycle. And it's in a case. It doesn't have a screen protector, but it's literally in perfectly mint condition. And it comes with the box and everything. So, but you might be assuming it's probably just a 16 gig or 30. Well, no, actually, the iPod Touch 5th gen on iOS 16 coming with 16 gigs. Didn't come in 16 gigs, I don't think, until like iOS 8, I think. So I mean, it wouldn't be a 16 gig, but I mean, you're probably thinking it's a 32 gig, but no, you'd be dead wrong. There's actually a 64 gig, and you're probably thinking it's probably like on 6.1.3, right? But nope, 6.0.1, which I believe was the very first version that this iPod Touch could get. It may have been 6.0. I know the iPhone 5 and iPad 4 were 6.0 in September of 2012. But I think the iPod Touch 5 and the iPad Mini 1 came out in October of 2012, which is when, with 6.0.1, I think. I could be wrong on that. Maybe this did ship with 6.0. But I'm pretty sure 6.0.1 is the very first device, on the very first version this iPod came with. So, without further ado, so it comes with the original box, which we'll get in a new first. You might be wondering, how much should I buy this for? It was not cheap. I have missed out on a few in the low hundreds in the past, including one that sold not that long ago. I think it was a blue one for the upper ones. And there were a few out there. There was one with a crack that was the non-isolated one. This one's running iOS 7. I think I turned it off. But yeah. There was that one, and then there was also a silver one, but it had a couple of marks in the screen, so it's like, yeah, I probably don't want that one. So I kind of did some digging, and I found a very nice, only has one charge cycle, almost never been used, 5th gen with its original box. Here it is. Here's proof it's a 64 gig. 2012, crazy. You see the iOS 6 there, screen there. You got the hello pamphlet, with, I believe, Apple stickers in there. I'm not going to take those out. But, and then all the accessories, including something that was only available on the iPod Touch 5th generation, if I can get this out. There we go. The iPod Touch Loop, there in pink, and then the charger, the headphones. And it's kind of funny that a lot of Apple collectors preserve that stuff inside the box, which is usually not the same case to me, because usually when I get a brand new or open box product, usually the charger and all the accessories that come with it go in this bag, right? But this time, this time I am decided that I think I'm actually going to keep the accessories inside the box and kind of preserve it, because these have been here since 2012, and kind of special that they've never been touched. So I think I'm going to leave it there. But anyway, that is enough of the box. So I'm just going to keep it there. This will go up in my box collection up there. But on the iPod itself. So this is the pink 64 gig iPod Touch 5th gen, 6.0.1, and it comes with this Tech 21 case, and it doesn't have a screen protector, but the screen is in mint condition. Like, this thing is brand new. It was only used for a very short period of time, and it was never updated once. And there we go. Here's proof it's on iOS 6, just in case you don't believe me, obviously. Yes, I did show my password, but again, I don't think that matters anyway, since since it's not like anyone's gonna come and like hack into this. But anyway, so there we go. We agreed with the stock iOS 6. And no jailbreaks, no downgrades, no dual boots. And there we go. 6.0.1 iPod Touch 5 Rare, iOS 6, 64 gig. And it already did ask me for a software update for 8.4.1. Definitely not going to do that update for sure. Obviously, that would be a major sin and probably a crime if I did that. So, obviously, it would. I don't want it to be updated for me or for anyone else, obviously, for the viewers that watch this channel. But a really nice, really nice. It's sad that that over the last month the App Store was killed. Unfortunately, I went through every app. App Store no longer works that way. However, this did come with music, so I could download some of my own songs on here. I probably will, but it did come with some music. You got cover flow, and really cool stuff. And 4 of June, right before the App Store shut down on iOS 6, I did get apps on my iPad 4 on iOS 6 and my iPad 3 on iOS 5. So, and some other iPhones. So, like Temple Run and some other old apps and stuff. So, so 4 of June, not completely dead out of the water. But basically, Siri works up. What is the Broncos score?
The Broncos just barely lost to the Cardinals last Friday. The final score was 18-17.
Siri, what is the Buffalo Bills 2023 schedule?
Here's the upcoming schedule for the Bills between January 2nd, 2023 and December 31st, 2023.
Okay. That is pretty cool that Siri does fully work. I was just asking some of my favorite football teams schedules, and I'm responding right away. So at least Siri is back. So it thinks that the App Store get killed recently, but Siri at least is back. So that has been the trade-off. But I mean, as I said, I'm happy that I was able to get some apps on my iPad 4th gen on iOS 6 not long before the shutdown. So, one more. Siri, what is 10 times 20?
Searching the web for what is 10x 20.
10 times 20. And it loads it. And it actually came up. So not bad. 200 is the answer. One more thing, I just want to load ESPN. There we go. NFLshop.com. NFL Shop. And now it says cannot connect to the server. Okay. About one more thing. Wanted to search one more thing. Oh yeah, Apple.com. There it is. Obviously, it is not pictured properly, but it did load. But Siri is spot on. So, but there you go. So Siri and web browsing works a little bit. But I'm trying to think, what else? So FaceTime you got on here, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool other stuff. Photos, a camera. Really cool. Hi. There we go. I don't think Maps works on here anymore. It did a year ago, but I remember on the iPhone 4S I have, on iOS 5, I think, and iOS 6, and the iPhone 5 on iOS 6, but, whatever doesn't work anymore either. It says unknown and it won't load anything. But at least notes and a lot of other stuff works on here. So, hey, I mean, well, not really much, but at least there's a few things. But basically, the whole point of this, video is showcasing the fact that I found a really, I wouldn't say good deal. I definitely overpaid a little bit, but a really good condition, really like brand new iPod Touch, open box iPod Touch 5, running it's possibly its very first version, 6.0.1, and that I finally have in my collection since I've been wanting an iPod Touch 5 on iOS 6 for so long. It's been a requirement for my collection, and I finally found there's lots that have been missed earlier this year, and that just got away before I could buy it. And then there were other ones, but they had flaws in the screen, so it's like, yeah. So I found this one, and really, really cool stuff. So now I really just need an iPad Mini 1 on iOS 6. That's the one that's been really eluding me. A few of those just sold not that long ago. And that got away before I could buy it. I did offer, and yeah, they didn't like my $200 offer, but that's all right. I think the seller wanted, I think, $270 something or $290 something. I think it was $295. I can't remember. But and yeah, there's just no way I'm gonna pay that much. So, which is the problem. But we'll see. But yeah, and one other thing I wanted to mention in this video is I now have every iPod Touch. Let me just clear on these out. Minus the iPod Touch 7th Gen. I do have an iPod Touch 7th Gen, but it's running iOS 14. So I am aware that the iPod Touch 7th Gen shipped on iOS 12, right? And it does exist on iOS 12, but I haven't really gone out of my way, and I don't really need an iPod Touch 7th Gen running iOS 12 in my collection. But I need the iPod Touch 1 through iOS 6 running their original on my collection, which I do have right here. So I now have at least one of every iPod Touch running its original version. So between the iPod Touch 1 and the iPod Touch 6. So let me just lay them all up here. And this is what my next video is going to be like. So I have an iPod Touch 1 running iOS 1.1, an iPod Touch 2 running iOS 2.2.1 with apps and games on it that fully work. This I bought on eBay, I think a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago, and there we go. iPod Touch 3 running iOS 3.1.2, right there, completely stock, nothing on it. iPod Touch 4 running iOS 4, there we go. 4.3.2, I think. iPod Touch 5 that you just saw, running 6.0.1. And last but not least, iPod Touch 6 in blue, just a 16 gig model. You've seen on my channel well in the past. This is one of my very first devices in my collection. But I mean, you've seen it on my channel when I was younger, right? And this used to be my main iPod for a long time, and I never updated. So throughout the iOS 9 days, but it is running iOS 8.4.1, so super rare because these are basically non-existent now. I got lucky I bought it when it was the latest. And then an iPod Touch 7th Gen in black. I know it's boring. And yeah, so on the App Store in a folder running iOS 14.4. So basically, besides the 7th Gen, I now have at least one of every iPod Touch running its original iOS. So right here, most are stock except for the iPod Touch 2G here with a lot of apps. Oh, and the 4th Gen has some apps too from a long time ago that I downloaded. So, but yeah, but the 7th Gen is on iOS 14. I don't need one on iOS 12. I doubt there's any out there on eBay on iOS 12 or Mercari. There might be, but I don't know. I haven't gone out of my way to find one of those. But I mean, I'm down. It's not required for my collection. So, so iOS 14 will do for this next video. And peace out, everybody.